More about this, let's bring in Philip Holloway, our CNN legal analyst, and attorney Avery Friedman, joining us from New York, not Cleveland this weekend. All right, good to see both of you. So, Philip, you first, so what is this restoring that was taken away?
What this bill seeks to do, Frederica, is to return the state of the law as it pertains to government action against free exercise of religion. It seeks to restore the state of the law back to where it was in 1989. And the reason I say that is because in 1990, the U.S. Supreme Court, in an opinion written by Justice Scalia having to do with Native Americans using peyote in religious rituals, he said basically that the lower standard of which is called intermediate review is what is required, and under intermediate review the government can interfere with your free exercise of religion if there's an important governmental interest that's furthered and it's substantially related to that important government interest. What this bill wants to do is increase it back to the strict scrutiny level of judicial review which existed in free exercise cases prior to 1990.
So Avery, do you see this as an issue of, free exercise of religion?
No, it's an absolute big bowl of confusion. No, the bill calls itself the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Nothing needs to be restored. It's protected under the First Amendment. Look, this case involves, Frederica, that battle that you remember in the news about the baker that wouldn't put the two little plastic guys on top of the cake.
Right.
And everybody got excited about it because those states like Colorado and New Mexico prohibit that. Atlanta, Georgia doesn't have a law like that. Georgia has no such law, so it means nothing. In other words, if you discriminated on the basis of sexual orientation right now in Georgia, it would neither violate federal law nor state law. It means nothing. If Governor Deal signs the deal, it will be a total waste of time, won't make any difference, and they will lose millions of dollars in business. It's a great big bowl of nothing.
So then what is the potential journey of this? If the governor has until May in order to make a decision about it, but where does the campaigning for or against this bill go?
Well, first let me correct Avery in part. Georgia, he's correct, Georgia does not have any state laws that outlaw discrimination based on sexual preference. There are a number of cities, though, including Atlanta, Georgia, and other municipalities that do have local ordinances that would be impacted by this legislation. Essentially, they would be heavily watered down, and it would be much easier for an individual to say, look, I refuse to go service this wedding, I refuse to go service this
but there are people who are interpreting that this bill would mean, if it were passed, this would make an allowance for that. People would be able to say, because of my religious beliefs, I should not serve these individuals.
It makes it much more easy for that person to say, my real religious objection prevents me from going and providing this service because it violates the tenets of my religion. But Justice Scalia, in his 1990 opinion that I mentioned a while ago, he said, look, if each individual person is allowed to say what their own religious beliefs are, then you can circumvent any law of general applicability just by simply saying, this violates my religion. And if you do that, Justice Scalia said, basically religious tenets outweigh the law. And he said that's not a workable solution.
That case involves smoking dope, essentially. I don't think it has anything to do with this case. Look at it straightforward under the First Amendment. No. The fact is that if government interferes with religious freedom, there are constitutional provisions that can address it. On passing a law that will restore that, there's nothing to restore. Basically, it's a political argument being made by certain elements within the legislature, and frankly, it's going nowhere. I don't think your governor there will sign it. I think it winds up being a great big bowl of nothing.
All right, Philip Holloway, Avery Friedman, always good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, we'll have much more in the newsroom right after this.